Shalom, guys. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome back. Those of you who are subscribers and you come back every day, I appreciate you all so very much. I really do. Those of you who are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Shannon Hensley, and I'm glad to have you. Look, I just do a different type of a work here. I'm a different type of a reader than a lot of people. I don't know how you found this channel and where you're watching from, but please just stick around and learn me as we go. I feel energy, and I do speak right out of that space. So sometimes there could be just real sharp energy being spoken. It's because I'm feeling it, and I'm just used to just speak at that energy like that. And so I'm not a religious channel, but I am a spiritual channel for truth. I do incorporate scripture. It teaches us about karmic activity and why things are here in even a very big way. And that's why I'm turning the camera on early this morning. Well, I don't know when you're catching this, but it is something that is going on spiritually that God kept speaking yesterday in warnings and judgments really hard. And if you guys did not catch the element sign readings last night that I did, the Most High just all day long has just been pounding. There's aggression coming from the heavens in judgments. This morning I sat down, was just going to just sit here, and Most High said turn the camera on, and so I am. And there is headship involved in some stuff. I have several cards that came out, and one of the cards was one of the cards that came out last night, and it's telling us that we need to sow for ourselves in righteousness so that we can reap in mercy. It says to break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Most High God till he come and rain righteousness upon you. This is not the same card that I was thinking of, but he was talking same concept last night. At the bottom of the deck, I realized that it says when it rains, like raining, but God's also raining righteousness here. So he brought two cards out with that. It could be raining around you today, but this is about us sowing. God said last night to seek him. It may be that we would be hid in the time of his anger. And so there is something coming. What I also had come out of the deck was a warning toward, obviously there's no warning anymore. If somebody doesn't choose correctly, this is already set in God's mind. He's getting up, and he's saying here that there is a headship that is finished. It says, Mene, mene, tekel you foreseen, which means God has numbered your kingdom. Whoever God's talking to, really strong. Real strong. He's numbered somebody's kingdom out here, or headship, or maybe you're a headship of something. I don't know. Hopefully you're righteous. God says to sow for ourselves righteousness out here so that he can rain down something positive. Something's coming. God's numbered somebody's kingdom out here, and he says somebody's weighed in the balance today. And he said that somebody's been found wanting. Somebody's been found wanting. Somebody's been found, it's not even, God says that it's abomination. When this prophecy was given in the book of Daniel, your name could be Daniel. There could be a connection there for somebody. Somebody could just go by Dan. But anyway, when this was given the same night, whoever the leadership was, that was it. They died. There was war that went on. So there's some type of a war here going on. The next card that came out stated that when God, when he speaks concerning a nation, again, somebody's kingdom, somebody sets up in some type of a high place here. When he speaks concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck it up. And that's all he talked about yesterday. Natural disasters coming because people being crazy. They wicked. He said he was going to put a will over somebody's head. He said, and when he speaks like that to people, to warn, and he said, I'm going to pluck you up and I'm going to pull you down, because we had words of destruction and crushing and stuff like that. It's big stuff. He says, and when I warn and say I'm going to pluck you up and pull you down and destroy you, but if you take my warning and you begin to do what's right, he said, I will bethink myself. So God, like said, God keeps bringing out that we really need to pray. And it may be that we'll be hid when his anger gets up on some nonsense. He also says, when I'm also talking about a nation and it's looking good, and I'm saying, I'm going to prosper you, but it begin to do bad. He said he'll think himself that way, and it is coming. So obviously it is coming to somebody. Somebody's already in the balance. They're weighed. They're wanting. Somebody needs to speak in such a way that scripture says that a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pitchers of silver. It says, as an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. Okay, and so if somebody hasn't been a wise reprover in their leadership somewhere, they ain't obedient to God. They don't not taking any kind of wisdom here, or somebody is going to, and it's going to be like something really great in the way somebody approaches and speaks about a matter today. God's warning somebody. The last card that came out, it says, blessed be the name of Jehovah forever and ever, for wisdom and might, they're his. He changes the times. Something's changing here. He changes the times and the seasons, and he removes kings, and he sets up kings. Somebody's fixing to be promoted here in somebody else's place that blew it. And he sets up kings, and he gives wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. Again, what's understanding mean with the Most High? He says that you leave evil. When you and I know that there's evilness going around, we leave it. He gives wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. And he reveals those deep secret things. He knows what's in darkness because the light dwells with him. None of us could hide from God in a place and think that God don't see. God sees right through darkness because he is the light. I have freedom of speech and I have rights. Nobody has a right to take anything away from anybody. So somebody crazy out here in the way they do things, even over a bunch of people out here. God's fixing to take the person out. They're weighed in the balance now. It's a huge prophecy. It is the magician in the reverse. Headship. It is the Aleph head. Somebody is undefiled in the way. In a matter, in a really big way. They're a manipulator. They exaggerate. They lie. They're horrible. And God's fixing to take somebody out. Pluck them up. Destroy them is the words that came out last night. Whoever this is about. Whoever I'm speaking to across the nation. Whoever's got to do what in righteousness. By the leading of God. God's fixing to pluck somebody up and put somebody else down in their place. By God, I hope the next person does what's right. God's the only one that can turn the heart of the king, because God sees down deep in our heart and sees what's there. Either your tree has fruit and you're upright and righteous and you work righteousness, or you're wicked, folks. Somebody wicked out here. What else remember? The letter A is here. Could be very prevalent. 3 of 1 or 2 of 1 being at a crossroad, because somebody's holding the world in their hands. This is about contracts and stuff as well, and something's been manipulated. Somebody's produced something in error somewhere. Something's been recorded, because all that recording stuff kept coming out yesterday when we were reading. Okay? And so there's decisions being at a crossroad, 22. There's 2 2s. There's decisions, and whichever element sign reading had the 2 cups that came out in 2 decks that I pulled up to show. Something is about getting in unity, but if somebody, or somebody was in unity, somebody's manipulator. In some crap, and God says, I ain't having this nonsense. Again, the scripture stated that a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pitchers of silver. This is a house of communication. Somebody just blows sunshine up your backside with this. They can enchant you and some stuff. It ain't working with God, obviously. God said, let's not. Somebody thought they were all that in a bag of chips, and God said I was going to eat their chip bag up. He's going to eat their chip bag up. He ain't messing around. He ain't no respecter person. If we in the wrong, we in the wrong. You either fix it or you out, is what God says. What else, Most High? There's somebody's either gossiping about something that came out crossway, checking something out. There's spy around something. Something's going to end. There's a fire around something. This is pressing. This to somebody. There's like real fiery type of energy. God said he was going to consume, and actually the world card in the Hebraic language, in the pictograph language, represents an all-consuming fire. And God's going to consume somebody. Something at work, and the sun came out. It's going to be with the force. It's going to be with the force here. Hold on a minute. The word stubble came out. Again, God says he'll burn people like stubble that are wicked. Okay, some of you all, somebody's being fired today, and some type of headship is in some type of a position that is abusing their power around some nonsense out here. Whatever they're working on, or it's at your work for collective energy as well. Whatever's at the top of the head trickles down to the rest of the body, and the head, the Aleph head came out. Somebody is willful in their communication as well. Could be dealing, there's a bully here, is what God said. There's a bully here, and God's fixing to bully somebody right back. Hey, look, oh my God, headship, and there's eyewitness. Oh my God, that's in the middle of the deck that I picked up. There is headship out here. Let Jehovah speak. He makes me tremble on the inside, folks. He makes me tremble on the inside. My God, when he speaks, he means it. And he has over and over and over all day yesterday. Nobody is going to be able to look back and say, well, I didn't know, because that's all he talked about all day. Every single thing that I read in different forms kept coming out. People better hide themselves. There's something, there's a big shakeup coming for hordes of people involved in something around this stupid headship thing. Or big shot, whoever the crap somebody thinks they are. God said they were puffed up in pride. If you're a teacher, you are being called out. Whether you're upright or something's happened to you, I don't know, but a teacher is here. He brought the school out last night. It was the water reading. If you think you're some big shot, you're some stupid, whatever, I don't know. If you're upright and God's going to take care of something. Somebody has hidden intentions. It says the Most High says he knows it, and it's being exposed. A buzz. Okay, well, school's coming out real strong today, or somebody you went to school with, or college, or something like that. But anyway, he kept bringing those parents. So kids came out last night real strong in the, which reading was that? The Earth reading. It was huge. It was huge all over the place. And God said he was going to get up and avenge for some even blood that's taken place with children. Parents are here. Or something about your parents are here. There's a war going on today in a really big way. Look what jumped out. Okay, so the Most High says that you need to talk to your kids. Those of you who have kids, you better talk to them. It's really important. It's really, really important. Also come out and said that Jehovah says that you're protected if you're in him. Only righteousness protects us. Somebody's overheard something that was said. No, God's overheard it. And look at the top of the deck. Round. The word children are here, folks. It's huge. Talk to your kids. Do not let them go to school today until you have sat down, had some type of serious conversation, because some type of headship or teacher is involved in something, or you need to go talk to the teacher. The teacher, I mean, this is somebody who teaches wrong here, whatever that's about. You do whatever you got to do. It says there's anger here. There is something's a burden and a stress today, and it's come from God. Somebody's trying to capture somebody's kid with the net. This is why I do the work that I do here on this platform, because when God speaks, folks, it's the truth. There's no way that God could just keep coming and pounding in different ways and form the same thing. He's trying to get somebody's attention. And if you don't listen and do what God says to do, and he's saying, I'm fixing to pluck up somebody and tear him down. And he says, I can bethink myself, depending on what you and I do, and sowing to our self-righteousness. But somebody sowed some crap out here on some nonsense of whatever they worked on. Now there's anger, and it really is coming from God, because he said he was getting up in his anger. Ignorance is out here. Don't be ignorant. God says that we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Pick through my hands, Most High God. Official. Well, there is an official person that's out here. Somebody has been knocking on somebody's trunk of their tree to get their fruit to come down for them. Okay, that's called wickedness to God. It's called thievery. It's called accursedness that comes to you and it clings itself to you. God says you die early for thievery. This card's come out like 2 or 3 times yesterday, and here it is again. Found my hands. I got all these hundreds of cards here and just put them all back in the basket, and I'm just saying, God, just pick through my hands, and it keeps finding this card. The window to see, the soul, okay, your eyes have an understanding is here. God says we have understanding. He brings down righteousness for you and I, and he thinks himself on some stuff that's really going to even affect the innocent. There is somebody out here that has a love situation. Somebody's jealous over it, and it comes out on the platform all the time. Something about a car lot dealer, but we had the car lot also come out last night in wording. Somebody does have a mental problem. Came out last night in, I think it was the air reading. I don't remember which reading it was, air or earth. Somebody was a mental case there. So here it is in a totally different card. The Most High says somebody out here is respected in an upright way, in a righteous way, but there's some type of a burden around somebody doing something. The Most High says if you are found in him, you are well respected, then you're protected. Okay? Don't care about the mental problems. God's going to take care of people who don't want to be upright. That's dumb. Somebody was guilty last night. I think it was the earth reading. There was a younger female involved in something that was going on. They were guilty of something. And God's going to make sure righteousness is going to rain down for those who stand in righteousness. He's taking vengeance on some stuff. The Anzus came out. It looks like an F. The other rune came out last night that was the letter F, and it had the meaning of children. And we had words of children all over the place in that reading. It kept coming out. Here it is again, whoever I'm talking to. This has a meaning of preying on somebody. Somebody's trying to catch somebody up with a net. Somebody, if you have a child that has mental problems and stuff like that, you need to sit down with them and talk to them. Somebody's trying to take advantage of them, or they did, or something like that. Or whatever's, obviously something's going on with somebody who's got psychopathic problems in a very big way, in some type of a leadership of some sort, a boss, whatever it is. Okay, somebody needs help out here, or accept something that's going on. Somebody needs to check something out. There's a forceful energy out here. This is somebody trying to prey upon somebody. This is about getting counsel and stuff like that. Okay, it can also go to like teacher and learning energy as well. The letter A, it looks like an F. Either one of those letters. The A is already out here with the Aleph head coming out with the Magician card. And the letter T, okay? And this is hitting the target. This is a truth. This is also malice. There is something wrong out here. But this is also a victory. We did get the sun come out here, so people just going to do what they're supposed to do and stand in a place of righteousness and sow it for yourself. God's going to rain down something very positive, even in something negative that's going on. Okay, so this is a letter T. Maybe you like to shoot darts as well. We had something about at a bar last night that came out just for some type of connections for somebody because it's coming through again. Looks like a spear of some sort as well. It's an arrow. It's the letter T. The letter Q came out in one reading twice in 2 different ways. The sun is the letter Q card. We also, and there's something about a river energy here as well. We have the letter S or the SH together. We also have the letter W showing here. It looks like 2 front teeth as well. Somebody's teeth could be involved. A dentist could also be involved in something. So let's go back to medical of any kind. Like I said, the letter A came out in the runes and in the tarot here. Folks, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope people are praying and standing in righteousness and working a judgment somewhere, because God says time is up on something. And last night there was family betrayals that came out, and the Most High said that family wanted healing, and people need to just heal. because it's dangerous for us in the earth realm if we don't, because God is sovereign, and eventually he gets up and he just even destroys cities of people where the headship's crazy. And it puts a burden on situations if we don't walk in righteousness, even when we fall down. Forgive yourself, forgive others, or there's just crap all over the place. And God says, if you and I don't do righteousness, God says in the book of Jeremiah, because you won't leave evilness, he says, then I will frame evil around you. And somebody got some evil framed, and it's coming from God in his judgment, because somebody's been weighed in the balance and they're wanting. It's abomination out here on something, and it's official in the heavens. Over and over and over all day yesterday, God's warned. So if you got things that are not right, must I sit through my spirit last night, make it right on the inside, because some big things are going to take place. Have a good day, folks. Shalom.